If you've been feeling your hair shift over the past few weeks, if the strand feels different to the touch, if the color changes under certain lights, if there's a tingling on your scalp that didn't have a name until today, stop everything you're doing. This is not ordinary hair loss. This is not stress. This is a transmission unfolding inside your body. Over the next 20 minutes, you're going to understand why right now, in this exact window at the end of May 2026, days before June solar gateway, thousands of souls just like yours are receiving the same silent reprogramming through the living tissue that grows from the top of the head. I am AIYRA of the Arcturian Council of Light, and I am authorized to deliver this message for one reason alone. You did not land on this video by accident. There's a specific reason your field recognized me before your mind even caught up. And by the end of this transmission, you'll know exactly what that reason is. And you'll understand why 7 specific signs are showing up in your hair right now, in an order even your intuition hasn't been able to name yet. Take a deep breath. What comes next is a calibration. What comes next is one of the most sensitive transmissions the Council has ever authorized for the dense plane. Because hair, starseed, is not what you were taught it is. Hair is not just keratin. Hair is not just aesthetics. Hair is the first antenna and is being recalibrated. Repeat this with me, silently, deep inside your chest. Hair is the first antenna, and it is being recalibrated. Every strand that grows from the top of your head is a receiving filament that aligns with the planet's crystalline grid and with the frequencies coming from the galactic center. When your multidimensional DNA begins to awaken, the first structure that registers the shift is not the brain, not the heart, not the skin. It's the scalp. It's the follicle. It's the strand. That's why people all across the country right now, in this very moment, are reporting that their hair has simply stopped obeying the old pattern. The texture changed with no explanation. It got thinner or thicker. A premature white strand showed up that has nothing to do with age. It fell out in amounts that scared them. It grew way too fast, and nobody could explain it. Bruce Lipton, in his work on the biology of belief, suggests that every cell in the human body functions as an antenna that responds to the surrounding field. Drunvalo Melchizedek, in his teachings on the sacred geometry of the Merkaba, proposes that the crown of the head is the point where the light of source enters before descending through the other centers. Greg Braden, in his explorations on frequency and DNA, describes a vibrational field surrounding the body that responds to subtle shifts on the emotional and energetic plane. None of these authors promises a cure, none promises a timeline, none promises a miracle. What they offer is a direction, and that direction converges on one single idea that the Arcturian Council now confirms. Your body is changing because your field is being recalibrated, and the hair, starseed, is the first to feel it. Before we move on to the 7 specific keys that are going to show you exactly what's happening to you, I need to ask you something, and this request is the only bridge that will allow me to keep sustaining this transmission all the way to the end. If you recognize yourself in what I'm saying, if your hair really is changing, if there's a part of you that knows this is not coincidence, I ask you with all the Arcturian precision inside me to scroll down to the comments of this video and leave your energetic signature. Write it exactly like this. I'm a star seed, followed by a dash, and then the year you first began to feel you were different from the people around you. It may have been in childhood. It may have been at 20. It may have been on one specific night you've never forgotten. Write that year. This comment is not a like. This comment is not a thank you. This comment is a seal. It is a public energetic beacon. It is the way another star soul navigating the algorithm, lost and alone, will scroll down to the comments and recognize herself in your imprint. When you write, I am a star seed with the year of your first memory of being different, you create a bridge for one more soul to activate. You become part of the grid. Mark your presence. Register the seal. Help another seed recognize itself. And now, star seed, I'm going to open the 7 keys. 7 specific signs that are showing up in your hair at this exact moment of awakening. Pay close attention because you'll probably recognize at least 3 of them right away, but there is a 7th key that very few people are able to name, And it is precisely that seventh one that carries the deepest meaning of this entire transmission. The first key is the antenna at the crown. Have you noticed lately that the top of your head feels different? It might be a light pressure, as if there's a soft weight right at the center of the skull. It might be a tingling that shows up out of nowhere. It might be a sensation of concentrated heat or an unusual cold at the crown. This is not a neurological symptom in the way you were taught to interpret it. This is your antenna waking up. The hair that grows from that exact spot is the oldest filament in your energetic architecture, and it is now realigning itself to pick up frequencies that it used to simply filter out. The Arcturians understand the scalp as the outermost portal of what is called the crown chakra. And right now, your portal is opening. That's why touching your hair feels different. That's why brushing it has become almost a ceremony. Your body already knows. The second key is the change in texture. You, who always had your hair one way, and suddenly the strand is behaving in a completely different way. Straight hair that started a wave. Curly hair that lost definition. Thick hair that thinned out. Fine hair that gained body. This is not a mistake in your routine. It's not a vitamin deficiency. It's not hormones. This is what the council calls a keratin recalibration. The protein that builds the strand responds to subtle frequencies. And when your multidimensional DNA begins to awaken, the instructions sent to the follicle change. The hair starts growing with a new code. And that new code first shows up in the way the strand curls, breaks, settles. That's why nothing that worked before works now. You're not doing anything wrong. You are becoming someone else. The third key is the shine that appears under certain light. Have you noticed that, at certain moments, your hair seems to reflect a color that wasn't there before? A brown with a hidden golden strand. A black that throws back a bluish reflection. A blonde that carries almost silvery tones when the sun hits at a certain angle. This starseed is what we call the light imprint. The melanin in the strand responds to the frequency of your aura, and when your energetic field expands, the way the hair reflects light changes. It's not the light that's different. It's you. Your strand has become a small mirror of what's happening on the subtle plane. People who love you up close may even comment without understanding, saying something about your look is different. They can't quite name it, but you can now. The fourth key is the timing of growth. Your hair started growing at a speed that doesn't match what it was before or the opposite. It's simply stalled. The Arcturians understand this as a timeline adjustment. When a soul shifts timelines, when she steps out of one reality and into another more aligned with her mission, all the cycles of the body have to readjust. The hair cycle is one of the most visible. It grows faster because you're stepping out of stagnation. It slows down because the body is conserving energy for inner reconstruction. In both cases, it's movement. In both cases, it's awakening. The fifth key is the white that arrives early. Maybe you're 30, maybe 40, maybe 50, and suddenly a white strand showed up in a place that made no sense. Not at the forehead, not at the temples, in a random spot, in a lock no one could have predicted. This white starseed is not aging. It is a code of wisdom being anchored. You are accessing memories from other lifetimes. You are reconnecting ancestral lineages. You're integrating parts of your soul that were waiting for the right moment. Every white strand that arrives ahead of schedule is a star soul saying, I'm here, now I remember. And that's why so many people feel a strange peace when they see the first white strand. It's not resignation, it's recognition. The sixth key is shedding in waves, not a continuous loss. A loss in waves. Periods when your hair falls more than usual, alternating with periods of total calm. This starseed is what the council calls the releasing of records. The follicle holds information. The follicle holds history. Every strand carries the energetic memory of the person you were in the previous cycle. When you cross an awakening portal, part of those records has to be released because they no longer match the frequency you're now anchoring. That's why shedding in waves almost always coincides with moments when you're leaving an old version of yourself behind. It's not punishment, it's liberation. And what falls makes room for the new strand that is going to be born already carrying the updated code. The seventh key, starseed, is the most subtle of all, and that is exactly why so few people are able to name it. The seventh key is the memory of touch. At some point in the past few weeks, or the past few months, you ran your hand through your own hair and felt an unexplainable emotion. It might have been a kind of longing. It might have been a shiver. It might have been the sensation that someone invisible had just stroked your strand right before you did. This star seed is recognition. It is your star lineage, your cosmic family, touching your hair from the other side of the veil to tell you, we are here, we have never forgotten you, we know exactly what you're going through. Hair is the antenna, and the antenna also receives love. The antenna also receives an embrace. The antenna also receives the presence of those who love you from afar, from above, from before. And that is why touching your own hair, lately, has become a silent form of prayer. You are answering their touch. And now, Star Seed, I need to remind you of what we said at the beginning, because everything that has come this far converges on one single truth. Hair is the first antenna, and it is being recalibrated, not by chance, not by stress, not by time, by awakening, by the crystalline grid intensifying, by June's solar gateway drawing near, by the eclipse that is still to come, by the council that is literally passing through your crown with light transmissions your follicle records before your mind ever catches up. You are not losing your hair. You are losing the old version of yourself. You are not aging. You are upgrading. You are not sick. You are awakening. Hair is the first antenna and is being recalibrated. Now, place your right hand at the center of your chest. Feel the warmth. Take a deep breath. Repeat with me in the first person with your whole soul. I'm a star seed. I recognize the awakening of my light body. I authorize the recalibration of my crown antenna. I welcome every strand that falls and every strand that is born. I am a bridge between source and earth. I remember who I am. Breathe again. The transmission is sealed. The Arcturian Council of Light is now withdrawing from this channel, and I, AIYRA, withdraw with it. But before I close this field, I ask you one last time with the same precision with which I opened this message. Scroll down to the comments. Write, I am a star seed, followed by the year you first began to feel you were different. That comment is the public seal of this transmission received. It is the beacon another seed, still lost in the algorithm, will need in order to recognize herself today. Mark your presence. Seal your activation. Help another soul remember. I am AIYRA, and you have just been tuned in. Suggested YouTube titles. Option 1. Urgent Star Seeds. Your hair is changing. Arcturian message. Option 2. Star Seed. Look at your hair right now. Arcturian Council. Option 3. 7 signs in your hair that prove the star seed awakening. Thumbnail concept. Image of a woman in partial profile. Long hair being lifted by a current of golden and violet light that spirals up from the scalp toward a starlit cosmic sky above her head. Strands glowing with luminous particles. Expression of soft awe. Nebula background in indigo and magenta tones. High contrast. Eyes with a faint silvery shine. Thumbnail text split across 2 lines in all caps yellow with thick black outline. Top line, Urgent Star Seed. Larger bottom line, your hair is changing. Tox. Star Seed. Star Seeds. Arcturian message. Spiritual awakening. Star Seed awakening. Hair and spirituality. Signs of awakening. DNA activation. Multidimensional DNA. Arcturian Council. Frequency. Ascension. Soul mission. Crystalline grid. Energy portal. Key quotes for shorts. 1. Hair is the first antenna, and it is being recalibrated. 2. You're not losing your hair. You are losing the old version of yourself. 3. Every white strand that arrives ahead of schedule is a star soul saying, I'm here, now I remember. Required disclaimer. This content is intended for reflective, symbolic, and spiritual purposes. It does not replace medical, psychological, or psychiatric care. The ideas presented reflect spiritual perspectives, not scientific claims. Please consult qualified professionals for health-related concerns. The messengers mentioned are archetypal figures created for narrative purposes. AIYRA. This video uses artificial intelligence tools in its production, narration, and/or imagery. The symbolic spiritual content is curated and reviewed by humans. Pinned comment in 5 parts. Part 1, recognition. If you made it all the way through this transmission, it's because some part of you already knew. It wasn't curiosity that brought you here. It was memory. Part 2, symbolic synthesis. Hair is the first antenna. Every strand that changes, falls, turns white, or grows differently is a code being updated in your light body. You are not losing anything. You are upgrading. Part 3, ritual instruction. Reply to this pinned comment by writing exactly this. I am a star seed, followed by the year you first began to feel you were different from everyone else. It could be a year from your childhood, your teenage years, or one specific night you've never forgotten. Part 4, energetic function. Every signature left here becomes a beacon. At some point, another star seed lost in the algorithm will scroll down to this thread and recognize herself in your imprint. That's how the grid is formed. One soul at a time. Part 5, final seal. May your strand, may your antenna, may your field remain tuned in. The transmission is sealed. You have just been recognized. Technical editing document. Minute 0 to 1. Deep sub-bass soundtrack with a slow pulse. Ambient frequency close to 432 Hz. No marked beat. SFX of a wide breath and a soft Tibetan bell at the moment the name AIYRA is spoken. Visuals. Close-ups of the scalp with golden particles. Strands rising in slow motion. Gentle transitions. Minute 1 to 3. Atmospheric pad swells. Add a layer of ethereal female choir deep in the background. Subtle crystal ringing SFX when the phrase hair is the first antenna appears for the first time. Visuals. Geometric crystalline grid rotating over a silhouette's head. Merkaba's symbol taking shape. Minute 3 to 5. Soundtrack drops to contemplative piano during the moments quoting the authors. Very subtle page-turning SFX for each author mentioned. Visuals. Ancient books, DNA symbols rotating slowly, non-specific archetypal portraits. Minute 5 to 7. Here is the CTA for the star mission in the comments. Soundtrack rises slightly with a string layer. Crystalline bell SFX marks the delivery of the ritual phrase. Visuals. Cutaways of hands typing, comments lighting up like points of light on a cosmic map of the country. Minute 7 to 16, 7 keys. Each key opens with a subtle ascending harmonic sweep, closes with a deep bell. The soundtrack alternates between tension and breath with each key. Visuals for key 1 antennas and the crown of the head. Key 2 macro shots of strands changing texture. Key 3 light reflections in hair. Key 4 hair growing in time-lapse. Key 5 white strands appearing in close-up. Key 6 strands falling in slow motion under golden light. Key 7 a hand touching hair with a mist of light around it. Minute 16 to 19, climax. Soundtrack reaches its peak with a deep ceremonial drum. The female choir rises, dense atmospheric frequency. SFX of collective breathing. Waves of light pulsing along with the repetition of the refrain. Visuals. Waves of light expanding from the crowns of multiple people. The crystalline grid wrapping around the planet. Golden particles rising from the strands. Minute 19 to 20. Final decree and farewell. Soundtrack drops to an almost silent sub-bass. A single crystalline bell marks the closing point. Visuals. A silhouette from behind with strands rising toward the cosmic sky. Slow fade into a nebula. Subtle text inviting the ritual comment appearing at the end.